Because little by little, there's more production value going in. I don't know. It's kind of crazy what's going on here. But I like it that the fact that people all over the world are watching the Jersey
Yeah,
Alchemists.
that's fun for us and for Bones too. Yeah,
Let's,
you're
let's do a countdown.
people from Great Britain
Oh yeah,
love Major Springfield Bones.
that's right. Let's do a countdown, John.
Go ahead.
Five, four, three, two, one.
Welcome back, friends. Welcome back to another episode of The Jersey Alchemist. I'm your host, Dr. John Gerard Gallucci.
I don't know why that cracks me up. And I'm Philip D'Angelo.
Yes, you
Oh,
are.
yes, I am.
Yes.
All day long. Almost 62 years I've been that guy. What's going on, pal? Are you a little more awake today? You seem more awake.
Yeah, still not a great, I don't know. I just don't sleep like I used to.
Okay. None
Yeah.
of us do. It seems like as you get older, you kind of get tired quicker and you need more sleep.
Yeah.
But you don't sleep.
You don't sleep. Yeah, it's like my grandmother that lived with us, Angie, who you knew. She was the night stalker. She was the night stalker.
Wow.
She was up skulking around the house all night until the sun came out. And if you had your girlfriend over,
Oh,
forget about it. The night stalker was going to catch you. And she wasn't even trying to. It just, that's how it was.
What's going on with Major Bones today? I saw
Well,
him limping into position here.
Yeah.
You want to
well,
ask him, or you think he'll come up clean? Oh,
John, John, Dr. Gallucci.
Me?
Hello.
I'm here.
Listen,
Yeah.
I have to bother you.
You're not bothering me, Bones. You're not bothering me.
Before you got here today, I jammed my toe,
I knew
my little toe,
Yeah, Phil said it.
my fifth toe. I jammed it on the corner of the coffee table.
Oh.
I staggered around, aghast at the pain.
I bet.
Now, it's bent backwards.
Oh, no.
Please, before this day is over, do have a look at my little toe, lest I lose it.
Oh, you're not going to lose it. Of course I'll.
It hurt like a son of a bitch.
Oh, jeez. I'm sorry, Bones.
Are you really going to do that, John?
Yeah.
I mean, Bones, don't you think that's a little ballsy to ask? I mean, we're in the middle of a podcast here, and you want
Yeah.
care?
Well, yeah, you could have said something earlier.
Please do. Please, I would appreciate your time and your attention very much. Doctor, thank you so much.
I'm on it, Bones.
Yeah.
I'm on it. Okay.
Be careful. Yeah,
Yeah.
he won't call HR
Okay.
now.
All right. Yeah. Oh, I see it. I see it. Okay. You ready, Bones? Easy.
Why didn't
Easy.
you tell me you were going to just snap it back into place?
What would you like me to do?
What kind of soldier cries and moans like that? I'm surprised.
You'll be okay, Bones.
Did you straighten him out?
I straightened him out. It wasn't broke,
Wow.
just very dislocated.
Wow.
You'll be fine. Put some ice on it.
That's a problem. I mean, now you're giving medical attention during podcasts? I mean, come on.
Hey, he's part of the crew.
Yeah. All right.
Little untimely, but all right. Okay.
I told you, I saw him limping around. I'm like, what's this going to be? I thought it was from the dog bite at your house. That
Oh,
one day.
yeah, that was a good thought. Yeah,
Yeah.
he could get an infection.
And then one episode, I did rip his arm off. Remember that one? I mean, he's been. Yeah.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, remember that? I mean, he's been through some tough times here.
Poor Bones.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So what's going on, pal?
Well, somebody last night while I was video surfing on YouTube,
Okay.
somebody, I can't remember who it was, somebody texted me and said, Ray Liotta passed.
Wow.
The actor. I thought it was a joke. It's funny. We're going to mention it here because this is the Jersey Alchemist, right?
Absolutely.
And I mean, it's a Jersey-based podcast meant for the world. Absolutely. We always take, the shitty end of the stick. Okay, it's a joke, but we're not going away, people. We're not going away. And Ray Liotta, I believe, was born in Newark, New Jersey, and grew up in Union, and I believe he graduated Union High School. And how he got into acting and whatnot, I don't know. But I always saw Ray Liotta as kind of a contemporary. Like I always see him as kind of a young guy. He was a young, good-looking guy. So when it said he passed on location, right?
In the Dominican Republic, I believe.
They were filming a movie.
Yeah.
And I know that production companies, well, we don't know how he passed, but
We haven't heard anything yet.
there's speculation that, and I can't say it because the platform will torpedo us
Oh, yeah,
again, and then
yeah.
Bones will have us mounting a counterattack, and I wouldn't blame him in that sense. But apparently, he passed in his sleep.
Yes.
Usually, when people pass in their sleep, it's either a stroke or a heart attack. God forbid. For Ray Liotta, I enjoyed every movie that I ever
Field of Dreams.
watched. Yeah.
That was the first time I saw him.
Every movie that I ever watched him in, and I didn't realize he was 67. I always saw him as a good-looking young man. He was a good-looking older guy, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, Field of Dreams. I mean, he played Henry Hill in Goodfellas, and I think that movie really catapulted him to stardom.
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
I agree with that. I mean, Goodfellas. I read an article, or at least a short, from an interview with Lorraine Bracco, who played his wife Karen in Goodfellas, and she goes, she cannot believe that he's gone, and that ever since that movie, people would say, "Wow, Goodfellas was my favorite movie ever."
Yeah.
I've seen it over and over and over again. And what was the best part about being in that movie? And her retort in this article, you could find it online, it was always the same answer. She said, she goes, Ray Liotta.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That was a great movie. Great soundtrack. Great cast. True story.
True story. Yeah.
If you saw the real Henry Hill, have you ever seen a picture of the real Henry Hill?
I don't think so.
Looks nothing. Henry Hill is very fortunate to have Ray Liotta playing him.
Really?
He looks nothing like him. And I think he's really short. And Henry Hill, Liotta.
Just the guy.
Just the guy.
Just the guy.
Yeah.
Right.
Wow. I mean, what are you going to do? A lot of untimely deaths. I mean, especially when it comes to entertainers and movie actors. I mean, think how many of them just pass away out of nowhere. Even if it's a drug or alcohol abuse, especially with musicians, great musicians, entertainers.
Well, yeah, that's for sure.
Those small planes going down. There's always like some kind of crazy way.
Yeah.
Although they say Jim Morrison's still alive. That he's not really in that grave in France.
There's a rat hole to go down. Not a rat hole. It's really a rabbit hole. It's about all of the conspiracy theories on who's still alive.
Yes.
It's not meant to be disrespectful. And don't you want a break from me getting angry and F-bombing and right? I don't want to do that all the time. It's really, really not me.
This is a feel-good episode. You fixed Bones' toe, and now we're going to talk about something. So Jim Morrison, people think he's still alive. Because he didn't die in the United States, he disappeared.
Right.
I don't think there's any pictures of a funeral or a wake. If somebody knows if there are, I've never seen them. I'm a big Doors fan. Break on through to the other side. I mean, they think he's still living, an artist or something in France, Paris. Who knows?
Well, you never know. And it's funny, apparently, and I like the Doors. My brother was such a huge Doors fan, and he was my big brother. So whenever he listened to, I really couldn't escape it. Even if I didn't like what he was listening to, it was there, and he drove me back and forth to the iron-bound hockey rink on a Saturday and Sunday morning, and so I had to listen to what he was listening to. I happened to love the Eagles, and he did too, and he was a big, huge Led Zeppelin fan, and I know you are.
Absolutely.
And I think that I couldn't give a shit about Led Zeppelin because of my brother. I love my brother, but my brother was kind of a bully to me, and when your older brother turns off what you're listening to and slides a cassette in, and it's Led Zeppelin, and he does it very irreverently and in your face like a bully, you swear off on whatever he's playing.
Sure.
So you might say Led Zeppelin they were victimized by him, right? They were cast in
Left a
light.
bad taste in your mouth.
Yeah, of course, right. So, but
Now, what about Elvis? People think Elvis is still alive, but I think that's kind of ridiculous, the Elvis one.
well, what I was going to say about Jim Morrison, what I didn't know was, and maybe it's not true, he was not a musician. They threw that group together, and he was a vocalist. He was the lead singer. I don't know if that's true. If anybody knows, was Jim Morrison a musician? Put it in the comments. Educate, elevate, entertain. The 3 E's.
3 E's. That's very interesting. A fantastic voice, though.
Oh yeah.
Fantastic voice.
Yeah, I wouldn't call him a gospel singer for sure. Not
No.
some of the stuff he
He
sang.
well, listen, he was out of his mind.
Mother, yes, son, father, I want to kill you. I didn't like that song. I thought it was a little bit over the top.
What
When my mother,
What was the name of that song? I don't remember
this is
that.
the end.
Oh, he says that in there?
I think that's the
wow.
song. Yeah,
Wow.
sure.
That's crazy.
Yeah, he walks down a hallway and he wants to kill his mother and father.
Yeah, that's a problem.
Oh, my father heard that once.
Oh,
My
boy.
father just looked at my brother like,
The look.
really?
The look.
That's right.
Yeah.
Well, when your father's 6'3.5" and 250 pounds
Tough as nails.
and played football for Georgia University,
Yeah.
if he looks at you like that,
Yeah.
I listened to my dad. My brother didn't listen.
I was always the Eddie Haskell when your father was around. Hi, Mr. Galucci, how are you? Because I did not want to piss him off. I knew that. I was smart enough to
You
know.
can never piss him off.
No.
No.
So
Who else?
Who else
Yeah.
there? I mean,
Elvis.
Elvis.
How many times have I seen some stupid article that Elvis is still alive? No, he's not, gang. Poor Elvis. Knowing now what the music moguls and the music industry and the Illuminati and all of those shitheads did to the talent that influenced people. Knowing all that now, Elvis was just so put upon. Apparently, he didn't even want to marry
Priscilla?
Priscilla. He said, I don't want to marry her. And what was his
Colonel Parker.
Tom
Parker.
Colonel Parker said, oh, you're going to marry her, boy, because it looks good.
Wow.
Yeah, well, poor Elvis, and then can you imagine running from gig to gig to gig to plane to this to that, and then, to keep up. It reminds me, and I know a lot of them go through this. Remember Tony, Orlando, and Dawn? Tie a yellow ribbon around the old oak tree, right? Well, he was the guy that back in the 80s was doing like 4 shows a day in Las Vegas, and apparently the word was that they were paying him $100,000 a show because he was packing people in to the casino. Wow. And they were making so much money they were paying him $100,000 a show. I don't know if that was true. Maybe they were paying him $100,000 a day or a week or a month. It was still a lot of friggin' money. And what was he doing? Sooner than later, it started to catch up on him, and now it's, he's doing the blow. He's doing cocaine to keep up with the pace, and by the 4th show, he's not sharp, he's tired, it's starting to show, and his producers are like, hey, and it's like, boom. And all of a sudden, now he's spending a lot of the money that he's making, and it's going right back to you know,
Wow.
the drug dealers.
Mm.
He's still alive, isn't he?
He's on the radio actually in New York
Really?
on Sunday nights. Yeah, he's got some show. His voice sounds horrible.
Really?
Yeah, his
Oh.
voice is messed up.
How terrible.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, how about all right? How about JFK Jr.?
Oh, there's another one.
I
Look, you remember when it was announced that his plane went down? They took off from Caldwell Airport in Caldwell, New Jersey. It's another Jersey thing, and it was him and his wife and the wife's sister, I believe.
Correct.
And I think that he was sitting at the airport waiting because they were coming from Manhattan and they were stuck in traffic. Was it a Friday night or a Thursday night or something?
It was a holiday weekend, I believe.
Yeah, something like that. And they were headed up toward, I guess, Hyannisport, where the Kennedy compound. And they waited and waited and waited. And there are all sorts of theories about his mentor, pilot instructor, was supposed to be with him, and then at the last minute he got changed out. Then the stories go all the way to when they were all the way up there, somewhere approaching where they were their destination. They kept the lights of the coastline in view, and apparently parachuted out to, I don't know, some kind of rescue team, and that his whole death was staged. Why would he stage his death? They staged his death so that the nefarious Bush and Clinton crew wouldn't kill him for real. That's the conspiracy theory, because he was going to be squaring off and running for, I guess, state senator against Hillary Clinton.
He was. Oh, was it against Hillary?
Yeah, well, yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And the reason why, when he came out with his magazine, he named it George, was because it was a play on the person that had everything to do with the murder of his father, and that would have been George H.W. Bush. Oh, yes.
Interesting.
Oh, yes.
Interesting.
Oh, yes. So that's you can find that anywhere on the internet. Those are all conspiracy theories. That doesn't mean, people, that they're not true. But I don't believe for a second that JFK Jr. is still alive. I don't. Now, you can say what you want about psychics and mediums, but somebody very close to me, well, I got a whole bunch of psychics and mediums very close to me, and every single one of them, and we've talked about this. Okay, do your best on this one. Oh, God, here he comes with another question. No, come on, do your best on this one. I know, you've probably heard of this, but it's a conspiracy theory, but you never know. Is JFK Jr. still alive? No. And the one that's closest to me said, I was a JFK Jr. fan. I loved him. She goes, and no. She goes, I looked into this long before I met you. Unfortunately, JFK Jr., on that day, on TV, when they pulled up his plane out of the ocean, he died, along with his wife and his sister-in-law.
Wow.
So for these people to make up these elaborate stories about some guy that's at the Trump rally that's standing behind him in the camera shot, what's his name? Some kind of an Italian-American name. He's got a hat on and glasses, and that's supposed to be JFK Jr., and he's got something to do with Q. There are people who actually believe that Donald Trump is going to be the president again, and JFK Jr. is waiting in the wings to be the vice president, or the other way around, right? Look, I got to tell you, I would be so thrilled if JFK Jr. were still alive and kind of came back from the dead, so to speak, to be the savior of this country. Wow, what a story! What an ending to a crazy story. I just don't believe it's true. What do you think?
I don't think so either, John. But
Sad.
but you never know. I mean, but talk about a cursed family, the Kennedys.
Oh yes. Oh
I
yes.
mean-
I've been told that. I've been told that by the mediums and the psychics. Oh, the Kennedys, they have a generational curse on them.
I
They'll
mean,
never escape it. That's what-
tragedy is everywhere.
Yeah.
I mean, the father, the uncle, assassinated. Um,
Yeah.
well, the JFK Jr.,
Ted Kennedy and
Ted Kennedy.
and the bridge
The
and
Bridge.
Mary Jo Kopechne.
Yeah.
Right, remember that name?
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
it's real. It's a real thing. And I think somebody else had a skiing accident. Wow.
Oh yeah, there was
Somebody.
somebody
yeah.
else in the woodpile. You're right.
I mean, just horrible. You know, from the family that were like, that was the epitome of the American royalty,
American royalty.
right?
Yeah,
You know.
right. It's funny. It's funny. People say that about the Kennedys. Oh, American royalty. They don't say it about the Bushes. It's just a different feel, a different flavor.
Oh yeah. Well, look at what was the first lady's name?
Which one? Jackie
uh,
Kennedy?
Yes, Jackie Kennedy, Jacqueline Onassis. I mean,
Yeah.
she was beautiful. She was classy. The way she dressed. I mean,
You know, she used to go fox hunting at the Hunt Club. You know where the Hunt Club is, where they have the outdoor hockey rink?
Yes, I do. Yeah, my son
Yeah,
played
off
hockey
of,
there.
I think, Lamington Road.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah, and she was there. Well, I can't remember how many years she's gone now, but no, there are people that still work there that knew her.
Wow.
Yeah. So Jersey, by the way, the site, the center, the hub of the New Jersey equestrian team, it's not in California. It's not in Texas. It's not in Tennessee. It's not in Montana. It's in New Jersey.
Oh wow.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Talk about death, Sean. I think for a while there was a big Michael Jackson sighting going on. Yeah.
I'm
Maybe-
sorry, no, he's gone.
Yeah, he's gone. But I mean, there was pictures. I mean, Michael Jackson's not dead. They saw him here. He was covering his face, but I don't know.
Well, it's funny, I thought I was looking at a conspiracy theory meme just last night. I'm scrolling and I see Michael Jackson's face, and it's a contemporary shot, and he looks like a good-looking woman. And then I realized it's his sister. I had no idea that they must have went to the same plastic surgeon.
Latoya or Janet?
No, I think it was Janet,
Yeah.
but they got that little tiny squeezed bird nose,
Yeah.
which we know is not their natural nose.
Yeah.
It stunned me how I thought it was Michael Jackson. Yeah.
Think about the changes from the Jackson 5. I mean, growing up, I mean, he looked so happy. So, I mean, is normal the
Well,
right word? I mean,
apparently there was nothing happy about his life. Nothing.
pushed to stardom, pushed
How do
to
you-
perform.
But what kind of life could you have if you have all the money in the world and you build yourself a theme park that's called Neverland and there's never anybody there?
Mm.
I mean, that's kind of like a psychologist or psychiatrist, field day. It's spooky. It's sad. It's sad. It really is.
There's a New Jersey restaurateur who's one of his sons. He had Michael Jackson as his godfather. This guy was a big shot restaurateur in Manhattan, and he moved out to Jersey.
Really.
And his son, Michael Jackson was his godson, his son's godfather.
I'll be damned.
Yeah, that's crazy,
There
right?
you go.
So conspiracy theories, John. I mean, why do they even start when it comes to somebody dying? They're still alive. Only one person rose from the dead
That we know.
that we know of, and that was thousands and thousands of years ago. So I mean, we know that story, but I guess they're all trying to emulate that. I mean, is that what is going on? Because there are big stars.
I don't
Are they
know.
somehow comparing themselves? I mean, are people thinking that they were so big, Elvis and the like, that they could rise from the dead? I don't think so.
I don't know. I think there are people who've got nothing better to do on their hands than to say, I'm going to create a video, and it's going to go all around the world. It's kind of like a kid getting a plastic Gatorade bottle or a mayonnaise jar and putting a note in it, and you're down at the seashore, and it's the Labor Day weekend, and you hurl it into the ocean, and you say, where will this go? Will this end up in Africa? Will it end up on some South Sea island? Or will it end up in Coney Island? Or will it end up coming right back to where I just threw it from? But the possibilities kind of make your imagination run wild. I did that several times as a kid. Yeah, I did. As a matter of fact, there was an inlet, not a lighthouse, but it was kind of a climb up galvanized steel lighthouse down at the end of the jetty on the Point Pleasant side of the Manasquan Inlet. And once I climbed up there, I was about 9 years old, and I found a long piece of steel. It was like bendable band steel. And I climbed all the way up there with this thing because I somehow or another wanted to register my immortality. I climbed up to the top of this thing, which wasn't too high. Maybe it was like 25 feet. And I wrapped that piece of bendable steel around one of the bars. And I came down. 20 years later, it was still there.
Wow.
Yeah, 20 years later, it was still there. Whenever I would go down to Point Pleasant, even with my kids, married with kids, I'd say, there it is. It's still there. I put that there.
Wow.
And then they redid the jetty, and of course, that's been gone for a long time. But I think people come up with these things, and they go, well, I'm gonna make a video that's gonna go all over the world. Let's see how far it goes. Like throwing that bottle with the rolled up note into the ocean. Let's see how far it goes. JFK Jr. coming back as the vice president. JFK Jr. controlling this, controlling that. I wish it were true. And I
don't think so. So we know what maybe the basis of conspiracy theories are, all right? Because certain people are just suspicious, okay? So what's the point of it? How many conspiracy theories actually turn out to be true? I'd like to know because.
Well, I would have no idea, but you want me to throw the dart against the wall and just come up with an opinion?
Humble of
well,
opinion.
I think it depends on the category of conspiracy theory, right? Because is Jim Morrison still alive or JFK Jr.? That category, I would say, very few of those I think are true. But when we talk about the politically charged conspiracy theories,
sure.
I'd say 90% of them have their basis in truth.
90%
have their basis in truth, which means, you want to put a falsehood across and sell it as a truth. You have to send it on a rider that is maybe 10, 15, 20% true, and then it rings kind of the right registered bells in people's heads, and they go, oh yeah, I heard that before. Oh, I saw that on Channel 2. I saw that on 60 Minutes. I saw that on, Good Morning America. Must be true. Well, 80% of it's bullshit, but it's being thrown through on a rider. 10%, 20% truth, and it carries it.
We should do an episode, John. List all the conspiracy theories. And just see, ones that have been around forever. Well, we'll pick like maybe the top 10. The top 10 conspiracy theories and just, break them down, see what the basis of truth is, right? That sounds like a lot of fun.
Why not?
So if you had to alchemize this episode, John, how would you alchemize this very interesting episode?
Well, okay. I think we'll pray for Bones' toe.
Yeah, he's been quiet, so I'm sure.
I think you're going to be fine, Bones. God bless. We love you, okay? But we talked about a couple of things. But the common denominator, the common thread through, I got to remember to sit close to the mic. The common thread through the episode was, I guess, people who passed.
Mm.
We didn't really vocalize it that way. We didn't tag it that way, but it was, it was a tribute to Ray Liotta, somebody who we all enjoyed his work, right? Yeah, I'm shocked that he's dead. Now, okay, I didn't realize he was 67. Hell, I'm almost 63. So he wasn't that much older than me, and I guess that meant I don't realize that I'm almost 67. I still feel like I'm 21.
Mm.
So God bless Ray Liotta, his family, his inner circle, and God bless the people that we talked about and those that we didn't kind of hone in on, like Jim Morrison and JFK Jr. and all the other people that have come and gone. And, it is what it is. Humanity is humanity. But we did talk about the conspiracy theories about people who were notables and celebs that passed, that maybe they're still alive. God bless them wherever they are. I hope JFK Jr. is still alive. I don't believe he is, but wouldn't that be such a wonderful ending to such a downer story?
Mm.
And so to alchemize that would be, God bless them all. That's it. Everybody have a great Memorial Day weekend. And remember the meaning of Memorial Day. You want to say a few words about the meaning of Memorial Day?
Absolutely. We touched on it last episode. It's not even, you can't even say really happy Memorial Day.
No, you can't.
Yeah, but you are really remembering the sacrifices that our soldiers, our uncles, our aunts, our grandfathers, and our friends
Yeah.
that in the military that we're lucky enough we can talk like this in a podcast and an episode on YouTube because of values and things that they fought through
Right.
without hesitation.
And we only got torpedoed once.
Yeah, only once. So I tip my hat to every veteran out there, and I always say, if you know a veteran, give him a call, a hello, make sure he's doing okay.
Yep.
Go to a VA. I used to visit a VA a couple times a year. I should actually go more, just to talk to people and see, veterans and say, how you doing today? It could really pick them up.
That's it, brother.
All right,
Very
great
good.
job, John.
Okay.
Thank you
All
very
right.
much. If you like what we're doing, press like and subscribe to the Jersey Alchemist. Till next time, peace.